Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
You're going to have your site map here, which is going to track your progress through the game. So right now you're on 0. If you get to all 3 of these safe havens, you will win the game. And you can pause it once you get to each safe haven. Then you're going to have your destination cards. They're going to be numbered 1 through 10, as you can see right here. So you just put those in order, and you can stack those right here. And then you're going to have your core cards will have this circle on the back. This is going to be like your hand of cards. There's 14 of them, and then you kind of just shuffle these up, and these will be in your hand. You're going to have these strength cards that kind of have a dumbbell on it. You're going to get 5 of these, 4, 5, and they will go right here. So they're kind of randomized. You have these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which are your hope cards, and they will go right there. And the rest of these cards will just be set aside. You'll use them when you get to the next stage, potentially. Then you're going to have the cards in your hand. So the way the game is going to work, if you meet the requirement of the distance, you can put it in your target area. No distance in the distance stack. So whenever you start the game, you're never going to have any distance, because 0 is the least you can go. So this will always get pulled over. And what you're going to have here is a rec. It's going to tell you that you need 2 distance in order to try to obtain it. I cannot do that yet, so I'm going to put that aside. Normally it'd be up here in the target zone, but I'm putting it in here for your viewing pleasure, and I will turn over the top card. And what I can do is I can either do this card, or I could pass on it. So this is an event card. I'll come back to these in a moment. So let's say you had a card like this. This tells you that it's heat, and you could have 2 of these icons, either heat or juice. For the most part, heat is a negative and juice is a good thing. So first thing I do is I could put this here, and I could try to obtain it, which tells me I need to get 2 juice on this side for the positive to happen, or 3 heat on this side to be negative. Now, if I didn't want to do it, I could just put it over here, and it's a heat. But let's say I did want to do this card. I could flip over the next card. It has juice on it, so I can simply put it there, and I'm halfway to where I want to be. Flip over the next card. It has heat on it, so it will go there. The next card has juice on it, so it would go here. So now I have 1, 2 juice. If you look here on the card, there's a requirement of 2 juice. If I got 2 juices, then I would pop this and do what's on this part. If 3 heat would have came up, or I'd put them over here on this side, then this negative would have happened. Because these 2 juices with the X on it means I discard them. They get discarded right there. And this becomes a part. That means I can now use this. Use rubber to postpone heat. So anytime I could tap this, and they always come in tapped, and I would be able to get rid of a heat or postpone it if I wanted to. So let's say the next turn I was to draw the rest card. The rest card is an event card, so I would put it right here. I could activate all of my parts, or I could lose a hope. I could put a hope in here, and then put this on the bottom of my deck if I wanted to. But let's say I didn't want to do that. Instead, I wanted to use the rest. I can discard it, and I would untap all of my parts, which means I could use them. So the parts are pretty easy to use. I can use them anytime on my turn. I can just tap it, and I can postpone a heat. Heat's up there. Postpone means put it on the bottom of your deck. So let's say I have a card like this. It says tracks, and it's going to give me 2 distance. This is what I'm trying to accomplish in the game. So I flip over the next card, and it's a heat, and the next card is a heat. So I have 2 heat now, which is the requirement. They both get X'd out, as you can see on here. It has a little X. Sometimes I'll have this symbol, which means it goes on the bottom of your deck, but these 2 will get discarded, and this means I have to get rid of 2 hope. So 2 hope would go into my discard pile. Now, hope are good cards. They usually give you juice, which is good for you. The strength would normally give you heat. So then this would be discarded because I did not accomplish it. But let's say I did accomplish it. So I would put 1 of the juice that I accomplished it on the bottom of my deck. I would discard 1 over there, and then I would gain this in my card here. So that means I've traveled 2 distance. Lo and behold, that's what's required for this. So now if I chose to, I could put this here and work on it. Now the good thing about working on a card like this, there's no negative, as you can see over here. So I'm only going to be a positive. I'm going to be putting heat out. So let's go this for 1 juice. Oh, 2 juice. That worked out well for me, which means I accomplished this map. So now I have this item. These would be discarded because that's what that card tells me to do. But as you see, the next destination was available. Further than 2 distance. Well, I'm not further than 2 distance. I'm just at 2 distance, so I could not accomplish that one quite yet if I wanted to. Now, you're going to win the game. If you go through here, you're going to find out that there are safe havens. And each time you get to a safe haven, you're going to move up on this tracker. And if you get all the way to the bottom of the last safe haven, then you will win the game. I will lose the game if these ever run out. I need to draw a card and they are not there. Now, after I reach the first safe haven, then I can get into a save thing. What I would do is I would take all of my cards and I would put them back in the originals where they were at. So I'm kind of resetting the board. The destinations I've already accomplished go out. And so this is a destination. It's already been accomplished. I'd make sure everything is set up. Then I would shuffle up these piles. I would get rid of one strength card. I would get rid of one hope card. Then I would grab one from the supplies, the cards I didn't use, put them in here, shuffle them up, and then I'm ready to start playing again. Just like I did before, you repeat and rinse, but you're trying to get higher up in here. If you reach the third safe haven, you win the game. So it's a quick overview of how to play Deadeye.